Good morning, viewers. Let me welcome you to yet another Digital Enterprise TV show. Today, I have come up with an interesting topic. This is basically about most of the data we are talking of today. The social media, the data emanating from the social media, from different sources. We hear to different terms today. Big data analytics, data scientists. Where is this data all coming from? What is being done to this data? And how are the business being affected with this data? And what is Tech Mahindra doing here? And today I have a speaker with me who has come to our studio to talk about and explain us and clarify all our queries regarding this in and around the data which we are talking of now. Okay, let me introduce you to our esteemed guest, Mr. Avin Jain, the CEO of BDI Systems. So, good morning, Avin.
Good morning, Sandhana.
Thank you for coming down to our studio. We have all our viewers, who have so many queries about all the terms I was mentioning now. So, can you let us know, your company BDI is also, can you tell us what is BDI? What is the history behind BDI, and then let us know on these terms and about the data we are talking of today.
Thank you, Sandhana, for giving me this chance. And I greet everybody, whoever is attending this. Good morning. BDI actually stands for Business Data Intelligence. So the name itself is, we wanted to be a company in BI and analytics side. So we coined the name as Business Data Intelligence, because finally in every organization, it's the data which has the intelligence which impacts the business. That's why we created the name Big Data Intelligence, and we created this organization 6 years, 3 months back with 6 of us from who were working in SAP Business Objects R&D group, and then we thought of creating a consulting company around business intelligence, so that we can serve the community, and then we can do implementation in a faster and more clearer way. Because when we were working in the R&D team, we used to interact and see there are a lot of people who are not very clear about the solutions they are implementing, and that's how we started it. But over the course of 2 years, when we were struggling, because when we started it was like deep recession, it's 2008, mid of 2008, and in 2 years we could find out that probably we are not going in the right direction, and we started writing our own platforms, which we named it as BizViz, Business Visualization. And once we started writing our own platform, we started serving the SAP community better, SAP also better, and our own customers, and we started making our own customers and our own platform. And we then, from last 2.5 years, we have extended it into big data as well. So as we define big data, we are able to take data from different sources, structured, semi-structured and unstructured, and then do analytics on top of it. And that's how we have come across this organization. So this is an organization of 200 people at present. It's a non-funded organization, and just started, with an aim of, serving actually the people.
You were talking of different types of data, structured data, unstructured data, I hear about this term, volume, velocity, and variety of data. How does this play a role in day-to-day life of today's business? And then what are we doing with this different kinds of data? And what is the role of companies like you in handling this data, and how are we, making business intelligence out of that data, and how are we serving the businesses with this data?
Absolutely. I think this is a very relevant and good question. Actually, I will take a little bit more time to answer this and explain this entire cycle of big data analytics. So, we in BDI termed it as in 4 different quadrants. So, there are 4 important pillars of giving a big data analytics. Because big data is actually very complex in a way that it is coming from everywhere. It is coming from your Facebook type of emotional website. It is coming from LinkedIn type of a professional website. It is coming from Twitter type of a momentarily emotional website. And it's coming from Reddit. It's coming from your different web portals. It's coming from your Salesforce. It's coming from your Google Analytics. It's coming from your own websites, your own internal data and all that. So it gets into very complex stage. But how do we define it as? So there are 4 important pillars of giving big data analytics. So first is you need to have an SME of that area. For example, you talk about healthcare, or you talk about education, or you talk about automobiles. So you need to have an expert of that area who exactly know what is the problem statement, what is the solution which we want to give into the market. So we call it as SME. So SME is a person who is actually interacting with the customer and who is actually interacting with the team and telling what they have to exactly do to give this type of solution. So you need to have that type of expertise. Second comes is your big data engineering. So finally, what is big data engineering is, we were talking about so many different data sources. So here we cannot query the data and then pull the data. So here what we have got some, good file systems which was originated by, Facebooks and Googles and all that. So we call it as, some of them are using Hadoop. So it's like a HDFS is there where you can just keep on taking the entire data set and keep on putting it there. Taking the entire data set and putting it there. You are not bothered about what you are putting and what you are not putting. Just keep on uploading the data sets. So till now we have been talking about MBs and GBs and TBs. But now we are talking about petabyte farms. So you don't care about how much data is there. You just keep on pushing those type of data. So the skill of handling this type of data, we call it as big data engineering. People who can start multiple Hadoop servers, different type of nodes, and who can handle this type of big data. And there are a lot of algorithms which is being given by Hadoop framework itself. You use those type of different
the business meaning out of it. That is the job of a data scientist. So data scientists will look at it, okay, this is the pattern, this is a pattern, and then they will try to build a model, which we call it as algorithm. So people who have been doing a lot of statistical analysis, people who have been doing a lot of operational research, people who have been like IITians doing very good in maths, or statisticians, or people who are very smart and bright people in their fields, they look at the patterns of they can use Excel file or anything, and they start using either R model, or they use SPSS, or they use SAS or any other type of a product, and come up with a pattern. For example, so they will come up with a pattern like whether it is sports. So they will be coming up with a pattern, okay, if Tendulkar is making score A, B, C, D, then they will be able to predict E on the basis of his past 15 years or 20 years, on the basis of different surroundings and this and that. So how complex you can think of and how meaningful you can think of makes the data science more and more interesting.
So it doesn't mean that only a statistician or a person who can write the algorithms, only these people are required for business analytics projects. It's like people who have lots of exposure to kind of maybe the domain SMEs, or people who have lot of knowledge on any of the field we're talking of.
Yeah.
Maybe if you want to make a meaningful data, or you want to come to a conclusion, which will give us a meaningful dashboard. Correct. Of whatever data we are collecting from different sources. So you mean to say that we need different talents put together?
Exactly.
To can you explain us on any of the example?
Yeah, I'll
kind of example where you can tell us like how we can collect data from different sources. What kind of variables? I think we will have to select few variables on which we will conclude on and come to a conclusion of that make a decision, right? So can you talk something on that?
Yeah, I will just cover your question. I will be because I have to just cover the fourth leg also. So we talk about data science. In fact, I will give you a very interesting story because it just happened. The World Cup football has just finished. So when we were looking at a lot of websites, so there was a website where clearly one very big organization put analytics, and they were showing the final between Brazil and Netherlands. So when I looked at the team, and then I said, okay, and they talked about different type of algorithms or analysis they have used, and I talked to the team that please do a research on this and then tell me what are the things they are talking about. And when we did more analysis, I said that they have not taken into consideration fouls. And I find out that Brazil and Netherlands were doing more fouls. So I could make it out that some of their key players will be sitting outside in some of the key clashes. And I knew about Germany doing HANA-based analytics. So I knew that they had the 12th man. So in fact, when we talked about it, we wrote it in Facebook also. I wrote it personally that the final will be between Argentina and Germany. Okay. And because of our own interest, we didn't want it to say that Germany will win because it was a close match. But our analytics says that it will be Germany and Argentina because some of the key people will be sitting outside. Because the overall strategy of Brazil in terms of doing more fouls will backfire at the last stage. So that's what I'm saying. So you need to have multiple people working together and having the understanding of that. So SME is very important. So that's how decision science is also very important. The fourth leg is BI visualization. Now you have done all the hard work. Now how do you represent your analytics so that the person who is using it can understand it? If the analytics is so easy that you exactly virtually know that this is what you have to do it, it makes a huge difference. For example, we are working on a prescription sort of analytics. By looking at people's social behavior, can I predict, okay, if Spandana is going to buy this car or a car of this segment and by what time? So then to any dealer's database or to any dealer, I can say that, okay, attack this person, this person, this person, go and give a test drive to this person of this type of car, and you have more probability of buying that type of a car. So this is how the big data analytics actually is going to change the entire life of around us. That's how people will be. Now today you get 100 type of SMS, we are doing this, I'm interested. You get a lot of phone calls. It's unnecessary pain. A time will come when people will be calling you exactly for what you want. So then it was a pleasure for both of you, person who is selling and person who is buying. And that will be the biggest impact of big data analytics.
For the viewers, there is an announcement. If you have any queries, please write to planet.learning@techmahindra.com. I repeat, please write your queries to planet.learning@techmahindra.com. Avin, so you've shared the experience of your guess on who would be the final winner in the football match. So that's a great thing. And would you like to let us know on today we thought of knowing more on your BizViz product. What kind of products actually do you offer? Does the BDI Systems offer? And what does this text analytics mean? What kind of analysis will be done over the text? What kind of different types of analysis can be done in your, especially about the BizViz? Can you share your details on that product?
Okay. So we started this BizViz by keeping these 4 legs into consideration, So because we wanted to give end-to-end big data analytics to our customers. And people initially said that it is very ambitious in a way for a small company to think in that way. So what we did is we started writing the UI platform, which is a HTML5 based dashboarding, where on the fly you can drag and drop components and connect to different type of data sources and then create dashboards on the fly, and then these dashboards are generated in HTML5, and this HTML5 dashboards can be viewed in our BizViz platform, which is a portal which is a responsive design portal which can work in any type of device seamlessly and based on OSGI type of framework, where you can run it and where the scalability is not at all an issue. And along with that, we started writing a lot of other small little components which small little businesses use in terms of creating an app designer on the fly, where you can trap some of the business data and do real-time analytics. And then what we started doing is we started writing a lot of big data components and started making small big data tools. So the sentiment analyzer is one of that tools, which talks about, which can pull the data from your Twitter, from LinkedIn, from Facebook, from Reddit, and then can do text analytics. So I think last week when I gave the demonstration on text analytics, it was mainly on 2 billion Twitter. On the basis of words, you can make different type of emotions coming out, which we call as Russell model, where 28 different emotions of human beings can be trapped through the language they have been using on Twitter. So what we are working on is in the 4 quadrants, we will show Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Reddit. So emotions coming out of all these 4 different type of websites. Now, how do we relate an emotion of Twitter as compared to Facebook or as compared to LinkedIn? So you will be more emotional when you will be writing in Facebook. You will be even more using strong adjectives when you will be writing in Twitter. But in case of LinkedIn, you want to be more professional. So you will be a little mild in terms of your feedback. So how do we, now we have to write a strong model in terms of how these emotions can be classified into something which makes a meaningful business case. So I'll give you one example, because when we were doing the brand analysis of 4 different type of cars, because we have been discussing with the Mahindra & Mahindra in Mumbai in terms of, what type of analytics can be given. So we have compared the sentiment of the 4 brands of Mahindra, Maruti, GM, and Tata across last 5 years. And since it was a sample data, so it was not 100% correct data, but still we can see there are 2 things. One is you are popular, and second thing is what is your sentiment today. So if you come up with a very strong model in the market with a lot of innovation, so sentiment will be positive. You may be an extremely popular organization, but if your model fails, your sentiment around you is not good. So for example, when you come up with a new car, or Tata came up with a new car, there was a lot of popularity, there was a lot of positive sentiment. But when 1 or 2 cars started getting burned and all those type of things happened, the sentiment gone negative. That started showing completely on the sales. So that's why sentiment analysis and brand analysis at present is extremely important thing. And what we did is we took the data from Money Control and then 4-5 different type of websites and did the analysis on car sales. So we could see the same pattern as compared to what is the sentiment is showing. The curves were almost the same, not in terms of figures, but the pattern of the curves. As your sentiment is better, so your sales are better. So that's why these are the things which is going to impact everybody in a very huge manner. So I'm not saying that it will happen in terms of only cars. It will happen in terms of electronics also. Leave behind it. We have done even sentiment analysis around movies itself. So a sentiment analysis after 2-3 hours of release of a movie, we should be able to predict whether it will be 100 crore or 200 crore or 500 crore movie. Just by looking at the sentiment analysis. All those things will be built. There will be trade analysts who will be talking about a lot of things, but just by doing a basic sentiment analysis, those type of models can be built. So that's how everything is going to, just change in future.
But as you mentioned, like you will take the keywords of, the expressions the people are posting on different social media tools. But how do you, gather the positive or negative? I mean, how do you know that if a person is using that term in a negative sense or in a positive sense? How can you make that analysis of so much of data which is coming in? It's not some 10 or 15 feet where you can just take and go through them and then, you can simply tell, okay, this is the kind of expression people have given on so-and-so particular movie or any of the product of any car or anything.
Yeah.
So how do you actually gather that positive and negative sense out of that expressions which are being given?
I think it's a very, very relevant and interesting question. And in fact, last week also I said that that's why you need a very good language person also to make your text analytics, looking great. Coincidentally, in my case, my brother actually is a language expert. So, but what happens is, so there is a lot of English coming into picture, but there is a lot of satire also comes in. And that completely changes the context of the Twitter. And when we have done this type of analysis on our analysis, we have find out that there are still some mistakes. Because what you have to do is, what we have done is, we have done the analysis on single words at present. So if suppose you have gone and watched a movie, you will say, okay, acting was great. So we will be able to pick up great, and acting was good, or this person was good, or X actor was good, whether it is Manam, whether it is in Telugu, whether it is Bollywood or Hollywood, whatever we have done, we can find out, and people tag around it. So they will be using a lot of names of those important, artists. And then you can tag it around and you will know, okay, this much of positivity is being generated by this person, or something else is being generated by that person. But still, when it comes a satire, you are able to do it. Because in case of satire also, so instead of single word, you do a combination of words. Because last time also I said that, it's a great time waste. Watching Humpty Sharma ki Dulhania is a great time waste. So now, if we pick up great, we will say, okay, yeah, this is a positive sentiment, but actually time waste is there.
Yes.
So what happens is your algorithm becomes very complex, because before and after that word, you have to start comparing some common keywords. So what happens is, when you build your model, you have to say, we have to use your common slang. If you are going and watching a movie, what type of a satirical comments or a positive comments can happen? So you put that type of sample words. When you are talking about a car brand, then you will be looking at those type of words. So what happens is, when you go and do an individual analysis of a brand, then only you can do that level of deep analysis. Because doing a generic deep analysis on sentimental analysis, it's a hell of a lot of work. Because we have already used 5-6 algorithms and we have put our own algorithm, but still that 100% accuracy cannot happen. But we have seen that we are around 80 to 85% accuracy. Because we have matched the trends with the numbers, the sales numbers, and we can say that it is quite accurate.
I think we have a query from one of our viewers. Let me read that out for you. Thank you for all the information delivered in this session. On websites like Twitter, Facebook, etc., apart from text data, there is present in the data is present in various forms. When data is extracted from these websites, how are the other types of data handled? Like text analytics, are there algorithms for other data types as well? I think this is a very interesting question.
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. So I think Lakshmi Konde has asked this question. So definitely, you see, when you are looking at different type of websites, see, your aim is also very different in terms of what you wanted to generate out of that text analytics. For example, I was giving you an example of, when I am going to buy a car. If some automobile company has come and said that, okay, try to find out, how do you find out who are the people I should approach and they will buy a car? So what I will do, it's a very simple thing. Okay, there are at least 3 million people working in software companies, 3 million to 5 million. So it's a 30 to 50 lakh. Out of this 30 to 50 lakh, 60% people are there on LinkedIn itself. So I get a sample data of around 25 lakh people. I know out of this 25 lakh, 20 lakh people are working in only service companies, and 5 lakh people are working in this top 20 companies. I know about all the different type of designations. From all the different type of designations, I know, okay, they can be into this type of salary range. Now, in each salary range, I know, okay, this person will be sharing this much of a percentage of income in housing loan and this much of percentage of income on the car. So I can find out what is the EMI. Now, in that EMI segment, what type of cars can come. Now, I will go to Facebook and try to find out what type of cars this person is liking, what is likes and dislikes. What is his group, what are the influencers, whether this person is getting married or he's going through first kid or second kid. So because these are the benchmarks where the person will be buying cars. So we'll monitor that type of social activities there. So you try to get into the like database, or you try to get into the comments type of database and see the mention of that exact car. So you have to be very clear in terms of what data analysis we are doing. So whatever data analysis we are doing, we have to be specifically looking at that type of data set only and those type of words only. Then we will say, okay, if you are interested in this type of car, then you will be saying, okay, how much importance I am trying to give it to the towing capacity, seating capacity, performance, fuel, looks, colors and all that. Now from where I will get this? Then I will try to find out whether this guy or this car enthusiast has written something on Team BHP or in Carwala or in some other websites or not. So I will search that profile everywhere in different type of websites, and different type of text I will be trying to gather in, because each website will be giving me different information.
But this is all about the text. Maybe that person might want to express his sadness in the form of maybe a expression, directly. Instead of writing that he's not happy about it, maybe he can just put a symbol of a
dislike.
Sadness. How do you handle the queries, I think, around? How do you handle any other forms of data? Not only the text, but how do you handle all this?
Yeah. See, in different type of websites, you have this 2-star, 3-star, 5-star. So you can read that type of data. So we have even created a model where we are able to get the information from all different type of websites and say that, okay, this is a car brand. So how many people are saying that this is good, or this is just average, or this is an excellent car, on the basis of the blogs they have written or the ratings they have done. So you have to keep on building your solution to that level that you are able to verify that your actual business is working fine with this type of model. Because that feedback mechanism, how your model is perfect. This is not a automatic pill where you will give somebody and they will take and they will get disease is fine. We call it as prescription analytics. But even in case of prescription analytics, you have to really see whether the analytics, whatever we have given, is working fine or not. So we do analytics of that itself. That this is the solution I have given you. Now I will measure the data. And on that basis, I am able to sure say that your business is actually improving on the basis of this prescription analytics. So it's a continuous feedback mechanism. It's a continuous looking at your models. You need very strong, people who are capable of this, and that's why you can see people or the organizations like Fractal or MU Sigma, they have done really well even they do not have any product. They just have people who can do R models or different type of models, and they keep on doing it, and they are able to build that much of faith into the system.
What does this R model mean?
R is just a programming language or an algorithmic language, which helps you to do predictive analytics or different type of analytics. It's an open source as compared to SAS or SPSS of IBM, which helps in terms of doing different type of predictive analysis, time series analysis, cluster analysis, regression analysis, different type of analysis. So that's why I'm saying that you need those type of experts who are exactly ready to sit, think, spend their days and night and then think about what is that it takes to, measure the business and, give that type of recommendation to the customers. And this is how the businesses will change. And those people who will not be able to understand the report or not be able to implement these type of reports, I think those businesses will be over in next 5 to 10 years.
Okay, so you mean that every business has to adapt to this big data analytics and to do some predictive analytics on the kind of sales they're having or the kind of business they're doing, and then how they need to improve their services and products. Okay. So you said that we need different mindsets and different talents, to work in this. So what kind of skills do you expect the associates, the basic programmers or developers, what kind of new skills would they require to, work on this kind of projects? Do you think there is a new skill set required, or can you share some details on that?
Yeah. See, as I was explaining about the 4 different type of quadrants. So first thing people have to understand it is increasing their functional knowledge or in-depth knowledge about everything is going to help. So the superficial knowledge is not going to work or will not be of much use in IT industry anymore. Because those times, that last 15 years have actually gone away, where we were just doing something and then, we just used to test something, put that in Excel file, give it, somebody will write some code and then we will be able to maintain everything. Business dynamics is going to change so fast. The reports, the big data analytics, the Internet of Things, we are talking about Internet of Things, everything will change things so fast that if you cannot understand what they are talking about or you cannot contribute to it, you will not be no longer staying in the business or in the jobs. For example, even in case of healthcare, you know that there are some medicines being developed which you can just take it, and then there will be insoluble ions will be there in the body, which will give you a real-time analysis of your blood pressure and so many things for which you go for a test at present. And it is a real-time monitor will be there who will be giving you an analytics. Okay, oh Baba, you have already eaten 2 sweets, don't eat the third one. Your insulin level is actually growing up. So that type of life is not too far. It's just 5-10 years away. From 2020, all the systems will be written new. Everything will be in memory. People will not be giving any time between the client and the database interaction. So everything will be real time. I get inside a store and they will know what thing I want, what type of average bill cut I have been doing. So the people will just come and start talking to you on the basis of who you are. So today it's happening, but not happening into a great level, great extent. And then wearable technologies and all those things will make it your life completely live. Sorry.
Yeah. Few wearable devices I have heard of, where you can wear the device and then your BPs and your diabetes can be monitored, and also few devices, where your heartbeat, the condition of your heart can be monitored. So we hear of few solutions in banking space also, where your what kind of customer you are, what are your spend patterns, and what is the kind of expenditure you're going to do it in next 1 month of your time, what is your salary and what is the kind of what is your area of interest, what are you going to buy, and how much is the credit spend limit available for you for this month. All this can be predicted. That is what I heard of.
This is a very interesting question you asked. In fact, if you can get an idea of the credit card statement of people, you can virtually predict everything.
So you mean there's no security for people?
Yeah, no. So it's the banks are not giving it, but what is happening is the banks have a lot of strong amount of data, and if they can give or share analytics around that with different type of brands, it's a huge revenue they can earn. You will virtually know that Avin is buying this type of brand, or Spandana is buying this type of brand, and this is the type of salary pattern they are growing. So you exactly know what they should be pitched for, and you can just talk to that brand and say, okay, try to suggest something new which is coming in your brand to this person, and they will certainly buy. So entire and when we are talking about all those things, I want to give a starking number that $4.64 trillion on banking side goes only in fraud. So big data is going to help in terms of reducing these type of frauds also. So $4.64 trillion is a huge amount of number which shows that type of frauds happens on the banking side. The type of people who try to save tax or they don't pay tax and everything. So if everything gets implemented, then really achhe din will definitely come.
Okay, that's great to hear of that. So, Avin, can you tell us something on your value prop? We hear many of such text analytics solutions. What is that BDI can do something different from the other solutions we have in the market today in the analytics space?
Okay. See, in terms of when it comes to BDI, so when I want to say that, there is nothing great which we are doing, which IBM is not doing or SAP is not doing, or any big company will not be doing, or even, services, large SIs may not be doing. We definitely has created a product and all that, but I always believe that there is always a scope of a disruptive innovation. And disruptive innovation is always like this, that if this bottle is of 10 rupees, if I can sell this bottle in 6 rupees or 7 rupees by giving 10% better quality, there is always a room for this. So till now, see, we have been talking about all the products which we compare against at present, whether we are talking about SAP or ClickView or Tableau, or there are 35 other products or 50 different other products in BI segment which sits on top of big data. Coincidentally, there is nobody from India. So think about a proposition where a product company is from India which is able to do service also at very cost effective manner. So this is definitely a disruptive innovation in that way. Because we will be able to sell license, we will be able to do implementations, and we will be able to take care of the services also. So whoever is our partner, they have to just sell and then suggest it to their existing customers, and we will be able to take care of all other things. And so that the profit margin is always ensured. So whatever you partner with BDI, so your profit margin is always ensured that this percentage of profit we will always have, because BDI will take care of this type of pain. And this is always possible when we are an India-based company. If we would have been a US-based company, probably we would not be able to come up with that type of value prop.
Okay. I think we have a query from the viewers. Let me read it out. What is the legality of the data with respect to data security? How will you map data across various social networking as the usernames are different across? How will you relate the geography locations? Can you structure video data and how? I mean, I think we have so many questions.
No, I think that's a very good question.
One after the other.
And I can make out the person is actually working on these things. I think.
What is the legality of the data with respect
Prabhash.
to data security?
Yeah, see, you have talked about the right question, because the first thing people talk about is the security, the data security and all that. Mm-hmm. So, see, when companies like us work on data analytics or social media analytics, we clearly say that, we are working on the social media data. So whatever is available, we have to trust that. And how do you take business decisions after it is on the basis of the feedback, whether suppose this is the sample or prescription analytics I have come up with. You have to start implementing it in a limited manner. If it starts working, then okay, our data analysis is right. But how do we work on it? We work on it like, for example, we try to say email ID. So generally your email ID in Facebook and LinkedIn is same, isn't it? And then from the LinkedIn, you can get your entire profile. Like we have worked on one project, live project, where we have scraped the data about all the new companies that are coming across the globe. So we have taken the data from like 4 websites. Now when we scrape the data, we scrape the people's images, people's name, and basically on the basis of that names, we have gone into LinkedIn and then find out their entire portfolio. And on that portfolio basis, we see, okay, these are the people which are famous and they have this type of education, this type of number of years in this segment. And then we have been able to extract their profiles and then able to know their Facebook profiles also. And if they have any Twitter profiles also, we have been able to extract their Twitter profiles. Because most of the people have connected their Twitter and LinkedIn. So that's how we know that, okay, whatever data we have got is correct. So in case we are not able to get for some people that type of data, we don't show in our data analysis that we have everything about this person. Okay, so all the key social networking websites where you are serious about it, you have your right identity. And in fact, you can do face mapping, you can have photographs from different websites also, and then can compare the images and you can make it out. It's not a very big deal about it. Then the question is how you will relate the geography locations. So I think in terms of geography locations, I think the person is talking about the same username or the same name. So that's why I'm saying you have to do matching across different things in terms of image. LinkedIn profile is going to be a common or the same thing of a person. If somebody has multiple LinkedIn profiles, then I cannot help it. Then we try to find out if somebody has a fake LinkedIn profile, or if somebody has a fake LinkedIn profile, what type of prescription analytics you will do on that person. So leave it.
Yeah.
Can you structure the video data? So I want to say that yes, you can actually structure the video data. You can convert it into audio and then do text analytics. If you don't believe me, this has been used in a massive way in last elections of India, and that's how they have done the video analysis of last 20-25 years. And they have found out if anything, political was being told by any of the parties. So you can certainly do it. And video and text and audio is all coming hand to hand together. It's all machine data. So you can definitely do it.
I think we have so many questions in queue. Maybe I'll read out the next question. This is from Ravji Rain. How big data analysis can help to build future business models for service companies, software service companies. Basically, this is to build skill set, capabilities, resource pool for future business, or which new area company can venture into, or which small companies can acquire, and so on, which will help to prepare strategy for business growth.
Exactly, it's a very smart question being asked by, just go a little bit down.
Ravji Rain.
By Ravji Rane. So you're exactly on dot, and this is what it will happen. So when I am talking about prescription analytics, so that's how the future business model is going to be like this. So if I do a data analysis about entire real estate of India, let's say, then I know that, okay, this person is going to buy an apartment in this segment. So if I'm talking to builder A, B, C, D, E, I will charge them some minimal fee. But beyond that, I will charge a consulting fee or a profit sharing type of a fee. That if I'm able to grow your business from this to this, then this percentage is my share. And it's not an impossibility which I am talking about. In fact, large companies like Accenture or maybe even Tech Mahindra or IBM, they have already started doing that. So we charge very basic amount in the beginning from the businesses, and then we say that we have this 20% or 25% of profit, whatever money we will be saving or expanding your business on the basis of our analytics. And like I was talking about automobile, the same is possible in real estate. And the percentages and profit sharing is huge in terms of real estate, you know. So it's a 300, 400, 500 crore project. How much of sales you are doing and how much of time you are getting the money, how in advance you can get that type of money by actually attempting it to the right customer. Because you just publish it in newspapers, you do a lot of talk about it, you put into newspapers, you put into radio, you sometimes put into TV, and then you just attempt it. What about doing a sampling of 1 lakh people and then approaching them and talking to them and then they buying it?
You mean a focused approach?
It's a focused approach, and that is the future business model. That's what I'm saying. The future business model of software companies is to sell their expertise for businesses to grow and sustain in this competitive world. So, and I want to share one more interesting thing is because that's why Gartner has said by 2020 there will be 8 million data scientist positions that will left vacant in US. It does not mean that there will be too much of jobs. The problem is the skill is not that much that they will be able to actually understand and implement that big data analytics report. So they will be out of the job. So this is going to be in a very big way, Ravji. This is the business model in future.
Maybe we'll take the next question. We have one more question. SAS works around with many algorithms on artificial intelligence, replicating the human brain in a way, predictive analysis. I'm not much aware of algorithm like our model, but which algorithms are used for which type of analytics? Like example, sentimental analysis might be well suited to be carried out via SAS analysis. In that way, where our model SPSS are suited.
Yeah. So Lakshmi, you must be working on the SAS work around it. So I has not worked on SAS, but I certainly know that SAS is probably the best analytics tool at present in the planet. But what happens is in case of R, so whatever SAS is able to do, you can assume that 60 to 70% of that can be done by R also, and SPSS is 10-20% lagging behind. But since it is of IBM, so you never know, because IBM is a next level thinker always. But what is positive with R is that R is an open source. So there are most of the organizations like us, they are working a lot on R. And whenever I have interacted, there are a lot of analytics companies who are our partners, because we are very strong on BI visualization also. So they do a lot of R-based algorithms, and then they use our BI visualization and give dashboards to their customers. So artificial intelligence, IoT, social media, text analytics, different type of analytics, they will all become small pieces and they will all go together as such. In fact, when you look at SAS website also, they are also saying that big data plus Hadoop plus SAS, better decision, quick result.
Okay, so it's a combination of
everything.
Things.
Yeah. So in fact, even SAS will be also using some of the models which is given by your Hadoop infrastructure itself. So we are talking about Hadoop and all that, but if you see in next 3-4 years, it's all Scala and different type of things which are coming.
So thanks, Avin, for your thoughtful insights on the topic for today. I have one more query before we wind up. How can BDI and Tech Mahindra work together in this space?
Yeah. See, I want to say that, companies like us, they are not competitor to large SIs. We are enablers. So at present, Tech Mahindra or all SIs, they are using different type of products to give services to their companies, and they wanted to give very quick solution, and they wanted to give clean solution on the basis of the budget and what customer is looking for. So there are a lot of customers who look for some very specific type of needs which needs a lot of customization. So you cannot do that type of customizations by using ClickView or Tableau or even using SAP. So we being an India-based software developers, and to tell you more details, we came in Leaders Quadrant in NASSCOM's analytic analysis of all companies of India last year. So the benefit with us is whatever customers you have, and if their budget is comparatively less and they are looking up for a better solution where we can provide entire portal, UI, big data, structured analysis, and all the things together quickly and at comparatively lower price, then I was talking about disruptive innovation, so we are there, And we do not conflict in a way that, we do not go outright and then cross and then say, okay, we want it to be there. So you can sell licenses, and at the same time, we can take care of part of the services also.
Okay, that's great. And I think the session was very interesting for the audience also. We are getting in so many queries, but, we need to wind up now. And I would like to thank you for coming down to our studio and sharing your thoughts on the most interesting topic of the day. Thank you so much, Avin. Thank you.
Thank you, Spandana, and thank you to all Tech Mahindra. Bye.